it.
Hello out there, and thanks for joining us on Political Platform. So glad to be here, and we are glad that you're also there to pick up all the reports we have for you. Charlie Boys leading protests for the President Muhammadu Buhari to resume or resign. We'll be talking about this, and have you been monitoring what's happening in Kenya? The elections and a tie between two long rivals whose parents were also rivals in their time, particularly in the early days of Kenya. Talking about those in the front line in the Kenya elections. And South Africa, something is happening. Will you say Jacob Zuma is going? Well, some believe he is going. When the parliament decided that they were going to conduct a confidence vote or a no confidence vote in the secret ballot, even when the opposition was the group that raised the matter, you understand that there are those who want to say, yes, we want him to go, but they are very careful about it. We'll talk about South Africa. Zuma, the enigma of a man who was in the forefront, one of those who fought for the liberation of South Africa, but has, in his own personal conduct and in several ways, have shown that he is not following the path of Nelson Mandela. Okiri Agbosuremi here will be talking about some of the issues that are up in the political arena. We have also your contribution through politicalplatform@yahoo.com, and we will be glad as well as we pick up those stories and you are raising the issues and the comments, and more importantly, your suggestions on the program. I have my colleagues here, Adebayo Boduri. Adebayo Boduri, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to you out there. There's a proverb in Yoruba land, and the proverb says, the cane with which the husband is using to beat the senior wife is also reserved for the junior wife. And I think that's precisely what is happening in South Africa. It's applicable. When Zuma galvanized the nation and they kick out Thabo Mbeki, the same cane with which he used then is now the same cane they are using against him. South Africa is a it's a society that is worthy of emulation by African nations. It's a society where it's not as if they don't have corruption. It's not as if they don't have misgovernance. It's not as if they don't have promises that remain unfulfilled. The totality of it is that the level of conscientization of the political elite and the citizens there is such a way that you cannot just go on unchecked.
All right.
And that is precisely what we are witnessing.
Mustafa Mohammed is also writing the program. Mustafa,
good morning.
welcome.
I think it's the morning of proverb. When you see the bird dancing by the roadside,
You know the music is being played by in the
Yes.
nearby bush.
yes, if Charlie Boy is running that campaign, who is behind it? But of course, let them exercise their freedom. Like I always
Mustafa,
say,
is Charlie Boy not old enough to?
It's not about age.
Is he not old enough? Is he not matured enough? Has he not contributed to society enough to know?
It's about interest. Whose interest is he gearing? I think we go back to what I said earlier. The presidency is not communicating about the health of the president. And so long as they keep Nigerians in the dark, you continue seeing such a process.
All right, and the National Assembly, which brand of cars are they distributing now? When they said they were going to buy cars, we on the program here joined Nigerians to say they should patronize made in Nigeria cars. It's also good that it's Peugeot automobile that cars that they are distributing, but we don't know if those Peugeot cars were assembled in Kaduna plant of Peugeot automobile or they were brought in from France. But here that the cars are arrived now, it's Condoland. It's period to share the car.
Here, apart from the issue of whether it's made in Nigeria or not, I think that the National Assembly is not a sensitive institution. They keep doing things when they shouldn't do it because this thing against them right now is so much. They should first launder their image and let the people, convince the people that they are actually there in the interest of the people. They vote on the constitution amendment and so many other things that have happened in the past. They constant rumors about, ungodly things in the budget. I think that instead of doing this again to make the people rise against them once again, they should have at least, been very careful, allow the people to actually regain the confidence of the people before they start doing this kind of thing. They seem to be taking the people for granted. The power of the people is much. And one day they might just wake up and see what is happening in Senegal, Mauritania, and about to happen in France, happening to them.
Of course, we should also put it there that it's not off the shelf. You don't just take the money from the National Assembly or from the coffers and go to the market and buy. It's something that takes a long process. It was in the budget. They announced it. People protested. All this while, for over 1 year, this thing has been in the kitty. But they went ahead anyway. And they didn't stop. That's what Uju is talking about. Dr. Amit Chaneko is also on the program.
Thank you, Hiria. What is happening now in Abuja happened exactly 7 years ago when the better organized Save Nigeria group protested in several cities of the country, Lagos, Abuja, and even in London, asking that indeed the then ailing president, late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, must pave way for his deputy then, Goodluck Jonathan, to assume office fully as president. So 7 years after, we are seeing another protest in Abuja. The organizers say they're also planning a similar protest in London, directly opposite the Abuja House, where the president is actually staying for now. But they say that one will come up much later in the week. Talking about politics and the power of the people to protest.
Yeah, we have it. Somebody said Nigerians are getting sensitized. What Adebayo Buhari said, that the South Africans are ahead of us. Yes, in the kind of conscientization, but we'll get there. Let's take a break. When we come back from this break, we'll be giving you your mails. Please stay with us.
Bust it.
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Welcome to the mail segment. I am Ife Nwahuobi.
And I am Etenikang Akepu. You're welcome.
Let's start with this mail coming from Ogenemano Austin in Ado, Nasarawa State. He writes on the protest in Abuja against President Buhari's health status and leadership. It reads, I want to use your medium to say well done to Charles Oputa, also known as Area Father. I am commending him and a number of people who marched the streets of Abuja yesterday, urging President Buhari to resume work or resign. Governance is not a do-or-die affair. Though no one prays that the president's illness should persist, but it would be appropriate for the president to take a bow since illness could not allow him perform his duties.
Still on the protest, Shegun Banshaw in Kuje, Abuja says, given the president's ill health, age and his own confession, but he has never been this sick in his life, I totally agree with the protesters that it's high time the president resumed his responsibilities or resigned from his position given his continued absence from Nigeria. While we wish the president a safe return, President Buhari, with the help of his doctors, should take an altruistic decision on his health while disregarding the selfish advice of sycophants and ethnic champions who might be encouraging him to hold on to power by all means. May God bless Nigeria.
And more reactions on that. Francis from Ikotun in Lagos State says, I want to thank you all for making this platform an avenue for Nigerians to be carried along with what is happening in our country. Please, I want to ask why Garba Shehu is flaunting himself as if he is the acting president. How can he say that the call for President Buhari to resign is an irrational assault on the nation's constitution? If he understands what the constitution says, he will know that once the president is not in the country, the vice president takes charge, not the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity.
And Christy Victor in Kubwa, Abuja writes on the Nigerian police and other security agencies. The mail reads, My heart was gladdened when Mr. Ohiria called the Nigerian police miracle workers. Indeed, they are, and not only them, but all the Nigerian security agencies, the Nigerian army mostly. I want to use your platform to plead with all Nigerians to form the habit of praying for them on a daily basis, and also let the government make available the necessary things that will help them work better, because they are sent out daily to battle without good equipment or weapon. The police are sometimes sent out with only batons and no means of communication, protection or safety. They endanger their lives every moment. The working condition is another terrible one. May God be with all our security men. Protect them always from the enemies. Give them way of escape when necessary. In Jesus' name, amen. Still with the national identity card, Ismail Ajetola in Lagos State says, I think some people are getting wrong information regarding the national identification issues. NIMSI has been issuing the national ID card since. I registered since 2013, and when I went to their office last week to ask about its availability, I was told to come with my slip the following day, which I did, and I was able to pick up, and I love it. It's like an ATM MasterCard. People should go to their registration center to ask for its availability. God bless Nigeria.
And that's it on the mail segment. Do keep your contributions coming with your name and where you're writing us from to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Busted.
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Thank you so much for staying with us on Political Platform. And I have right in here now Charles Oputa, popularly called Charlie Boy. Some people have said he's area father. Hello, thank you for joining us on the program.
Come, the thing why they tell you, police catch us here, come and see the battalion of police, see drugs everywhere. We know they do everything, you know.
Where exactly are you?
They want you to pay.
You said you are where exactly? Oh, well, I think they are having a running battle now with the police. You can hear, you could hear Charlie Boy's voice in Abuja here. Yes, we try to link up with another member of this group if it is possible for us to get them online. So we see if they can talk to us. They are still in. Yeah, is back on the street. Yeah, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Hello.
We're here. See what is happening to.
Where exactly are you located? Where exactly are you?
We're at Unity Fountain. They say we cannot be there. We cannot be there. Look at the battalion of police people, dogs, everything. That we can't be here. Why?
What happened yesterday?
We have no right. That we have no right to sit and discuss.
But you were there yesterday, and the police didn't disturb you. What do you see?
Because they are now telling us that the news is all over the world, and they can't allow this again. They are not happy. Why?
Now let's go to your own message. Let's go to your own message. What message are you trying to send out?
Listen, I'm not in an emotional situation to talk. This thing is getting me angry. It's either they kill me here, or I don't know. You guys, AIT, you should come and cover what's happening here. Hey.
All right. Since you can't talk to us, we'll link with you. Charlie Boy there saying he cannot even talk to us because the police are. Let's try and get somebody else who is in the group with them. They are in Abuja, the fountain, the Unity Fountain in the central area district of Abuja, where the protesters are gathered again this morning. We told you yesterday that yesterday they were there. And the presidency came up yesterday talking about Shehu Gaba, the senior special assistant to the president of media, and said that they have a right under our law, under our constitution, to protest, and that the government will not in any way prevent them from protesting, and that they have a right, and as long as it is peaceful and that everything is going on well with them, there's no problem. But that the president himself complied with the provision of the Constitution by forwarding his communication to the National Assembly, saying that he is stepping out of Nigeria on medical health, and that the Vice President should take over. Now, let's try and see if we can talk to Deji Adeyanju. Deji Adeyanju is a co-convener of the protest that is on in Abuja. Hello, Deji. Are you there? Where exactly are you?
We are the Unity Fountain where we're supposed to have the continuation of our daily sit-down.
Now tell us what is happening there. Exactly, tell us what is happening there.
Send police, military, they said the president.
But have you, let me, Deji, just be calm. Let me just ask you one or two questions. Yesterday you were on the street and the police didn't disturb you. Is there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Is there anything that you have done today that have caused a provocation? Did you go unruly in your protest?
No, not at all. We just arrived. They said there is a directive from up. That there is a directive from up that they because it is embarrassing the government.
A directive from where?
From up.
From up or from above?
Yes, from above. That the daily sitters is going to embarrass the government, the Buhari-led government.
Okay, now let me hear from you, Deji Adeyanju. What is the message you are sending out?
Our message is that we don't have time to be engaging this government on anything. We just want our president to either resume or resign. To be president by force. Nigeria na Buhari property. Na Buhari house with this country.
But yes.
Does Nigeria look like Buhari's personal house?
Deji, let's try to use some very decent words on the program, because we also we believe that you are very responsible gentlemen out there. Now, the presidency issued a statement yesterday that you can indeed protest, but that the president has not violated any section of the Constitution, because he went out of Nigeria following the due process of the Constitution, and the acting president, that is the vice president, is acting. What is the trouble?
The trouble is simple. Our president is sick. He can no longer continue in office. And Section 144 is clear that when the president is sick, the medical panel of inquiry will be set up to investigate it. Nothing picture cannot convince Nigerians that the president is not sick. The president, it is only that medical panel that can tell us whether the president can continue or not. And we are saying that Nigerians have had enough. And we are saying that as citizens of this country, Nigerians deserve to know what is wrong with the president. Although the president said that the president yesterday said that the president is a private citizen. Can you imagine? The president is not a private citizen. He's a public official. He's a public official accountable to the Nigerian people that voted him. Nigerians want full disclosure on the illness of the president and the status of his health. Again, Nigerians want to know whether the president can continue in office or not. You will recall that in 2010, this same president said that Yaradua had no right not to disclose what was wrong with him. And that Yaradua should be resigned or be impeached. So the same thing he said Yaradua should do is what we are telling him to do. This president, President Muhammadu Buhari, said Yaradua should resign when he was sick. So we want him to do the same thing. If he fails to do the same thing, then he should be impeached like the way he said it was.
But Deji, you and I and many Nigerians know the process that was supposed to follow if the president is incapacitated, and that the Executive Council of the Federation, talking about what we call FEC, should first of all pass a resolution that will go. There's a process that is on ground. That there's a process that's on ground in the Constitution, are quite laid out. But we are trying
to speed up that process. It's that process that we are starting now. What we are doing now will lead to that process. All Nigerians cannot quiet. All Nigerians cannot keep quiet.
The spokespersons of the president have said repeatedly that there is no vacuum in government, and that the acting president was empowered by actions taken by the president.
And that
government
is continuing. So what's the source of your worry?
The cause of the worry is that you and I, we know for a fact that look at what happened at the Anambra killing in the church. Did they allow Musibajo to speak? No. The president spoke. The president issued a statement. What the cabal around the president are doing is that they are doing everything humanly possible to tell that president that they are still in charge of the country. The president is not acting per se, he's not carrying the name.
Now that your Abuja protest is almost aborted, are you planning on going to Katsina, Kano, Kaduna, and Maiduguri to protest against the president?
Are you what?
Do you plan to go to other places in Nigeria like Katsina, Kaduna, Kano, Enugu to protest?
We are still on peace now in the country. Are people happy? The promises that have been made by this government and by the Buhari administration, have they fulfilled any?
I think the question, I think Mustafa Mohammed's question, Deji, is whether this protest is localized. Are you mobilizing Nigerians in other parts of Nigeria?
Yeah, of course. You know, we just started the protest yesterday. We intend to do that to have the protest in other cities. You know, and before the end of the week, we will have finalized the arrangements for that.
But the police is saying no now in Abuja. The question is, if the police say no and that you shouldn't protest and that this is embarrassing to the government, what do you do?
We will continue. We will not stop.
All right, thank you.
Because the oppressors cannot determine for the oppressed what the oppressed should do.
All right, thank you so much, Deji Adenyanju. Thank you so much. The co-convener of the protest march in Abuja here. We earlier spoke with Charlie Boy, who was said he was facing the battery of policemen who were there and preventing them from gaining access or staying at the Unity Fountain, telling them to go away because their action yesterday was well publicized and that is embarrassing to the government. We'll continue to follow up with the reportage of the events in Abuja, and if they take it outside of Abuja, we also know. But it is very clear that just like Shehu Ugaba said yesterday, Adebayo Bodurin, that protest is a legitimate right of the people, provided that they are peaceful about it. And I have very, very grave doubt if Charlie Boy will be involved in anything that is violent. If it is peaceful, like was said yesterday, and they are there, all the government need to do is just let them stay there. When they are tired, they go. That is the attitude of the government. If it's going to be make any impact, they go to National Assembly. Let them just, the police just make sure that nobody infiltrates them to cause violence, and that they are peaceful about it. I wouldn't know why the police is agitated.
Well, I think from available records, which we have covered which our reporters have covered, this is the third place they are holding their group. They were in Makurdi, they were in Lagos, and they called their group Our Mumu Don't End Movement. And I think what government needs to do,
and they went with all those protests without any
violence. I think what they need to do is perhaps maybe engage them in dialogue. That would probably it will probably be a better way out. Except if they are actively involved in things that can unsettle peace.
Undermine the
I'll wait
that's
for
the only place
the part of the police to explain what happened today. They need to really tell us. But from what the other group said, it is a clear violation of our constitution for the police or indeed any other security agency to stop a legitimate process. I feel troubled and pained in my heart in a democratic process when security agencies try to stifle a peaceful protest. It will not succeed. The other former administration tried to do it against the Bring Back Our Girls group. It only ended up popularizing their movement. In 2010, when Save Nigeria group protested, the then government did not do anything to stop them. It was a carnival of a sort. So the police and the other security agencies must be made to respect our constitution and must not in any way try to violate the very constitution that created them.
And it reminds me of what happened in 2015 when lecturers, highly esteemed lecturers of Nigerian universities were protesting at the Eagle Square, very close to the Secretariat. and they were, the police descended on them with tear gas and with very hot water. In fact, I narrowly escaped
the steamy hot water.
Exactly, because I was going to the secretariat at that time. I think that it doesn't speak well of the police, considering that even our police, have been involved in operations outside the country where they have performed creditably well, and they know, the civil way of carrying out their activity. But beyond this, I think that the presidency can put a stop to all of this that is happening by coming out cleanly and clearly to Nigerians so that they know
exactly
the
what
situation
Mustafa Mohammed has been emphasizing.
We should be deceiving ourselves if we think the kind of democracy we practice in Nigeria is the free kind of democracy where people can express their various freedom. Those who appointed the police leaders are the same people who can summon them to carry out such acts with a snap of a finger. You hire and fire the IG. You retire commissioners, DIGs, AIGs, and appoint new ones. So who wouldn't want to protect his job? If anybody from the high authority think this protest cannot take place and he wants the policemen and officers in uniform
he talks to the IG.
He talks to the IG. Just make a phone call. Are you fighting us? What's happening? Look at this boy. They'll go right now, and there's nothing you can do, even with your democracy.
Well, it goes against what we believe here. Where we believe here on the platform that institutions should grow. The police is an institution; it should grow. I tried to reach now the first public relations officer, Moshood Jimoh, who always pick my calls. It does appear he's very busy now. He's not picking my call to explain what probably is happening. Whether the fears are that the peaceful group could be infiltrated, whether they have a reason to believe that protest should not go on, or it is just the reason offered by Deji just now, that they are told that they are embarrassing the government by their protest, if that is the reason the police is on. But we can assure you that in the course of our programming, both Ray Power and AIT will engage with the police on this and find out why they are stopping the Charlie Boy group and the other his co-conveners who are mobilizing Nigerians to ask for the resumption of the president or resignation. We didn't have time to go into the other key areas. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the Kenya elections. We'll be talking about the South Africa, Jacob Zuma, who is facing a confidence vote, and we'll be telling you what implication this has and why their constitution is different from ours, and if we face similar circumstances, what roads, what paths have been laid down by our constitution, and why the mobilization in Kenya, according to Adebayo Bodurin, is so much advanced compared to what we have. In another 24 hours, we'll be back. And for those who missed the program, you can subscribe and watch this edition of the program and all the other videos on our YouTube channel, AIT Political Platform, and you get all the things you have for all the things we have said on this program, including your mails. And remember to drop us a mail, politicalplatform@yahoo.com. Okay, I'm going to Remy here. Please do have a wonderful day.
Bust it.